So we take every effort to talk with the employee, not in a pejorative manner or anything like that, but just to try to understand why are they leaving, and is there anything we can do as an organization to improve it. Recently, I've even had some members of the association sit with me with that employee so we can get a candid answer as to their concerns, and I think it's been very beneficial. The second question?
Thank you, Mr. Becker. And what are we doing to increase teacher retention?
What are we doing to increase? I think that would depend on why the teacher is resigning. We try to learn why the person is there, and also I think then we have to look at why is the teacher resigning. If they're resigning to teach in their home school district that they grew up in and they have an opening offered to them, or to teach in an area that's closer to their household, there's not a great deal we can do to improve the teacher retention in that regard. I believe that was also in the memo that I sent.
Thank you, Mr. Becker.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call then, please.
Mr. Brucia.
Abstain from 2, 3, 8, and 9, and yes to the rest.
Ms. Dodd? Yes. Ms. Rosario? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Lauren? Yes. Mr. Sarnia?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen? Yes. Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz? Yes. Mrs. Shaw?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. On to curriculum and co-curricular activities. Mrs. Mullen.
I move that the board approve the resubmission of the self-scoring district performance review and statement of assurance for the 17-18 New Jersey CUSAC monitoring process to the county superintendent of schools.
Okay, do we have a second on that? Second. We have a motion, we have a second. Ms. Phillips. Ms. Phillips. Any questions or comments?
You see the reason for the resubmission.
Yes, because we had voted on it and
Yes.
stated once, and then we were notified of the missing items, so we had to resubmit. Okay, yes.
And then with the resubmission, I see it says point loss adjustment, so that means, does that mean points were taken away and now they're given back because it wasn't?
No, it
what does
means
that mean?
the scope, the universe of points that we got for CUSAC is now actually goes down by 1 point because we thought that everyone had submitted. That was our documentation. And we found that we had to adjust that because not every member had submitted their ethics disclosure statement.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call then, please.
Mr. Brucia?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosario? Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Lauren?
Yes.
Mr. Sarnia?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz? Yes. Mrs. Shaw?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mullen. On to community relations, Mrs. Rosario.
Many grams, they're very nice, good food. All right, I'm going to read the whole thing because I feel so proud of our, school that's over. We are proud to congratulate the following students who have been accepted into early admission program. This process is ongoing and represent the great strides we have made in our academic program and SAT performance. Part of the process we did 14 years ago. Julio Granado, Yale. Giselle Abreu, University of Pennsylvania. Natalia Aguilar, Johns Hopkins. Karen Cardona Sanchez, Cornell. Wesley Fritz was University. Fredia Garcia Arequipa, Stanford University. So I think we have to.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for that. Yes, Mr. Becker, please.
I just want to mention that this is a group we have to this point. This is part of the early admissions. We are getting more every day, and we will be posting, and it's certainly something to be very proud of. And we are putting this on our Facebook pages so that the community itself can join in our thrill and pride that the students are actually doing so well at Dover High School. This is a huge transformation, and it's due to the curriculum, the teachers, the support from parents, the new FAFSA methods that we're doing, SAT, every other element of it. And a lot of people have worked very hard to, including the students and their parents, and I just think it's time that we really start rejoicing in the positive, and this is certainly extremely positive, with much more good news to come, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rosario. On to buildings and grounds, Ms. Dodd.
I'm happy and proud to say we have no property damage, vandalism, theft, school, personal property for the month of November and all our students.
Excellent, it's great to hear, thank you. On to budget and finance, Mrs. Lauren.
I move that we approve and/or adopt the following resolutions as listed, 1 through 5.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from anyone? Okay, roll call then, please.
Lucio.
Yes.
Ms. Dodd.
Yes.
Ms. Rosario.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Laurie.
Yes.
Mrs. Darniak.
Yes.
Mrs. Mullin.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz.
Yes.
Mrs. Shower.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Ms. Janish, could you just explain a little about the comprehensive annual fiscal report? I think that's something that you may want to share.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's one of the highlights. I am so sorry.
That's okay. We just completed our 2016-2017 audit, and I'm very happy to say that we have absolutely no findings in our report. Everything is in order and up to par. We have some additional reserves due to the fact that we had some additional revenue from extraordinary aid. So our revenue over budget was $283,000. And due to some good budgeting and just economic expenditures, we actually had a large difference between actual expenditures and what we budgeted of $1,742,000. And so that, in net with the transfers that we made from the capital reserve, we actually increased our reserves for this year by $1,282,000. And our capital reserve is just a little over $7 million, and our undesignated fund balance, which is our 2% maximum, is $1,117,000. So we're in very good financial shape for the future.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call then, please.
Actually, we did the roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I feel like we were doing another part here, my God. Okay, on to Dover report from Mine Hill, Mr. Brucio. It's good to see you this evening.
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, we voted on to approve the settlement agreement that would modify the Senate seat. Oh, yes.
Very good, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Old business, did we have anyone, I know we had some concerts, did we have anyone that attended?
I went to Academy Street, and what a festive little holiday, starting with the principal. And the
he's not here.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That was something to greet you at the door. But it was well attended, and I sat next to this lovely couple that came from Mendham to see a friend's child who had invited them. And I was a little concerned, it's starting to snow outside and they needed handicap parking, but they were just so joyful to be there, and they just loved Dover schools, and they were friends with one of our teachers too, that was Academy Street, and it was just a very nice evening.
Very good.
That was so nice. I attend that day too.
Excellent, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to new business, we do have tomorrow evening is our high school concert, starting at 7 p.m. Hoping it's going to be very festive for the holiday. It's a great way to start off the remainder of the week, right through Christmas. Then we have our reorganization meeting on January 2nd with a snow date of January 4th. But we're going to think positive, and there will be no snow that day. And that is starting at 8 o'clock. There is no executive session that evening. Moving on to the last public comment of the meeting. If there's anyone that would like to speak, this is about any item, not just agenda items. For 3 minutes per person, if you could stand and give us your name and your address. Yes, Mr. Mullen, I see your hand going up.
Hi, James Mullen, 150 Main Street. I see that on one of the items for hiring an architect, so I'd like to hear why we need one, and what do we think, how much do we think we might pay?
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? Yes, Ms. Rosales.
Hi, Diana Grisales again, 94 Orem Drive. I wanted to congratulate the students you have mentioned here tonight. I'm very grateful that you did that and very proud of them. I also wanted to mention and congratulate all the other students who have been accepted to all the other colleges as well. I know they're working very hard, so I wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Joan Sprella, Pinedale. I don't know, because I'm new to the district, your policies for recognizing teachers, but I wanted to take this opportunity right now. I'm an educator myself for 24 years. My son has a teacher, Matthew Holder, in 7th grade, a language arts teacher, that I truly feel has gone above and beyond the call of duty as an educator for my son and for his class. I'm new to him, so I don't know if he's been recognized in the past or stands out, but I wanted to make sure that I take this time to let you know what amongst the fabulous educators that you have here, how amazing Mr. Holder is and what great opportunities he has opened for my son here in 7th grade.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, Mrs. Flores.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to concur with what everyone else has said. I think it is unbelievable that we've gotten so many students into so many wonderful colleges, and I'd like to also congratulate the teachers that taught them, who in a large part are responsible for that. So I want to start off on a very positive note and saying thank you. This is really a wonderful thing. But the second thing that I wanted to say has to do with the settlement agreement, and I'll direct it to you, Mr. Miller. Mine Hill was given a feasibility study.
If I may, ma'am, please direct your comments to the board
I'm
president.
so sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mine Hill was given a feasibility study that included information regarding the number of students, regarding the finances, regarding the taxes, regarding the racial impact, all of the things that we need to look at. So Mine Hill community members have all of that information, and yet we're being told by this board that we can't have that information because of the fact that it will impact the litigation. It makes absolutely no sense to me why Mine Hill can have all of that information, and yet the Dover community can't have the information because it's going to impact the litigation.
Thank you for your comment, ma'am. Anyone else from the public? Yes, Mr. Caniglio. Good evening.
John Caniglio, 509 Mount Hope Ave. I'm also the Dover Education Association president and a teacher in the Dover School District. Just a couple of things. As a DEA, we're trying to do more things for the community and for the students of Dover. So recently what we did was we sponsored the cross-country banquet that was held, and we basically gave the funds so the banquet could be run without any cost to the students. So that was something that we're going to try and do going forward with other things, and it's kind of just the start. We had some events earlier in the year too, but it's one of the things that we want to continue to do. Secondly, I just want to thank the people in the audience that have, and the board that have recognized our students for their achievements for the colleges that they were accepted to. That's really why we get into this profession as teachers, to see that, and I teach 5th grade, and it's just great to see kids that have come up through the Dover schools and are now graduating and going off to colleges, and it's just nice to see, and that's really why we become teachers, to see things like this. So I just want to say, thank you, and it was a pleasure to have those kids, and for all the teachers across the district. We're just so proud of all the kids. And then lastly, I just want to thank Mr. Miller, directed to the whole board. I'd like to thank the Board of Ed members who will who will,
We're leaving.
yes, on the January 2nd meeting. And I know it's a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of hours, but we sincerely appreciated all you did over the years. And, it's not an easy job, but we appreciate everything you did, and best of luck, going forward.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no additional hands, I will close that portion of the meeting. Before we end the meeting, I know the public has been very patient with us being late coming in from executive session, and I know the rest of the board has been very patient, but I cannot leave this meeting without making some thank yous and acknowledging some people who, over the past 14 years and 9 months, have been there to help us and support us along the way as we try to do the best job that we possibly can as school board members. It is not an easy job, so I would like to start at the top, and I'd like to first acknowledge my husband, who is here this evening. Thank him for his patience and his support. My children were somewhat young when I became a board member, and there was an extensive amount of time, especially in the early years, that we were out. And my husband always pitched in after driving home 2 hours from work. He always pitched in the evening to take over with the kids, and I very much appreciate that. I could not have done what I have done all this time if it was not for him. And also the understanding of my family. My children who continue to go to school, all 3 of them continue to go through school and proudly graduate from Dover as the children of a board member sitting, and for 12 of those years as the board president. It is not always easy to be that child. And I thank them for that and for their understanding and for their support and their patience. I also must thank my friends and my extended family who have always been there and supported my family in every endeavor that we have sought out here in Dover. And I include the friends and relations that I have made here on this board, including my vice president, Mrs. Lynn Laurie, who through thick and thin, through good times and bad times, and we have had both of those over the past 15 years, we have been there for each other, and I thank you for that. Mr. Miller, I know that we will never see you too far from this board, and you will still support the students and the families of Dover in every way that you possibly can. I must congratulate the Dover board itself as an existing, living, breathing body. Throughout the 15 years, we have had experiences of wonderful board members, 52-year member board members, 30-year board members who have left a legacy of history on our board. And we have learned from that. And I thank them for that. I thank the existing board for your professionalism, for your dedication, for the sacrifices that you have made. And lastly, I thank our superintendent, Mr. Bob Becker, Ms. Beth Schoonmaker, Mr. Kevin Bullock there in the back for his help, our district administration team, our principals and our vice principals. We are an unbeatable team here in Dover, and you can see the results of that. Our students are achieving. Our district is thriving. We welcome new students to our district on a weekly basis. Not many districts do that. There are not many districts, especially here in Morris County, who on a weekly basis have new students throughout the whole entire school year coming to their school. We accommodate them, we teach them, and we do what we can to represent their families here in Dover. It's a huge responsibility, as I said, for board members. I congratulate the incoming board members. I congratulate the tremendous effort that you took on with your campaign. It was historically never heard of to campaign in the manner that you did here in Dover. You did it. That proves to the public your demand for excellence in education. And I hope you can live up to the bar that you have set for yourself. Promises that we make to the public will turn around and they will hold you accountable. And as we as a board, even this evening, found out, that's not an easy thing to constantly do and still work within the ethical guidelines that we swear to. and that you will swear to on January 2nd. So please remember that. Again, thank you everyone for coming tonight. I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy 2018. Mr. Miller, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Of course. I mean, I started out with my first election on the town council as alderman, and was on that board for a couple of terms. But I was also the liaison to the Board of Education, and after losing the mayor's spot, I just kept thinking after a while, how else could I help my town? I really liked the board because I thought, aside from the political stuff, this is where people really use their minds, and don't quote me on that, but it just seemed like at the time when I was on the Board of Education was a place that was not political and you really worked together as a team, and that was the reason why, I decided to join. And had wonderful experiences with my son. Got to go to band camp again for another 4 years. That's 8 years. Being able to work with one of my teachers at the time and working with the trumpet section, because I still play trumpet, was really fulfilling. And being able to work with this administration and being able to see all the dreaming and the strategies go forward and actually see that it would come to almost become a miracle that some of these things actually came to fruition. And to get to the point, I always like going to graduation because I still have our Boy Scout troop, and it was always nice to hand diplomas to a lot of my Scouts and Eagle Scouts. But I especially liked being able to address the students with Mr. Becker last year, because I kept thinking, well, this could be my last time. So I wanted to cherish that moment, which I did. But on another note, I still have a winning percentage in elections, so there may be one more in me, we'll see. But I also want to thank my wife for all the suffering she went through. Now she has me working in a cemetery, so I don't know which one to go with, but it's all good. So I just like to see all of us come together as a community. I don't want to see us battling each other. I just want to see the continued progress, because it doesn't have to be me to do it. If someone else is doing it, I'm happy. It's all good.
If you remember, Mr. Miller, I had also lost a seat on town council by 6 votes. But when you were pondering becoming a Board of Education member, I think I remember one of my speeches was, you will feel cleaner as a Board of Education member than you will as a government elected personnel. And I hope that it stays that way, because now that we vote in November, it seems that politics seeps its way into everything, and there's no stopping it. And especially in the campaign process, it becomes very difficult not to be political. And so let's hope that it stays that way, that 10 years from now I can still say, it's still clean.
Yes.
It's still clean. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Mr. Scarnio.
Mrs. Laurie, Mrs. Shower, and Mr. Miller. The last 9 years that I've served on the board, you have been wonderful. It's been a great experience working with people that give up so much of their time, have such compassion for the students and the taxpayers and the citizens of this town, and constantly make decisions to make their lives better, to figure out how we can do the best job for our students at a cost that our taxpayers can